Tectone, big streamer and former member of OTK, was recently the topic of conversation because his ex-girlfriend Pinkychu made some tweets where she didn't name him specifically, but most people assumed she was talking about him, and he did end up responding to them. If we're to take her at her word, Tectone was abusive and SA'd her throughout the relationship. She does not provide any evidence for this, it's just her word. But the key thing that she says here, because it's what Tectone specifically responded to, is she said, guilt trips you into giving BJs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent. Tectone said that he was only going to respond with 5% of his evidence against this. So only 1/20th of what he has, and he said he wanted to save the rest in case he needed it later. The 5% that he had was saying, she did pay rent. Doesn't make any sense that I would say that. And it's like, okay, he doesn't have much to go off because, again, there's no evidence, so it is hard to disprove it. But Denims shared this clip of him saying something that contradicts that.
Is that the garbage has not been taken out in 7 fucking days. Okay? The garbage has not been taken out in 7 fucking days. It's Pink's responsibility. And the reality is that she's in my fucking house role-playing as a fucking goth Hooters orderer, waitress. And honestly, it's really fucking annoying because the reality is she doesn't pay fucking rent. She's not doing her fucking responsibilities, and
She doesn't pay rent, and she's not doing her responsibilities. So whether or not it's true that she did pay rent, it's a thing that Tectone was willing to say that, oh, she did not pay rent. And again, obviously, this is not proof of anything, but to say I'm only going to come out with 5% of my evidence, and then your 5% evidence, the one piece out of 20 that you chose to present, is a contradiction of something you've said on stream before. So it's not a strong response to me, and it's definitely concerning. But again, his ex did not provide any actual evidence, so I'm not gonna condemn somebody straight off of that. Asmongold was a friend of Tectone, at least that was my perception. After, looking into this a little bit more, it seems like maybe they weren't friends necessarily, but they did do podcast together with Emiru, I think that was her name. It's called Steak and Eggs. And a chatter asks Asmongold about the podcast in this clip here and prompts him to talk about his relationship with Tectone.
So yeah, maybe try it then. Kissing dudes? Nah, bro. Like, we're not gonna do any of that. Absolutely not. Was there no steak?
It was totally unrelated, but it was right before this topic, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave that in because, okay, strange.
And eggs today? No, there's not. We're not doing it with Tectone anymore. I'm not sure whether we're
I talked over a little bit, but the chatter asks, is there going to be steak and eggs today, the podcast? I'll just go back.
kissing dudes? Nah, bro. Like, we're not gonna do any of that. Absolutely not. Was there no steak and eggs today? No, there's not. We're not doing it with Tectone anymore. I'm not sure whether we're gonna continue the podcast or not. When I know and I have an idea, like for sure, I'll tell you guys. Sag? Yeah, that's the way it is. Yep, that's just the way it is. Why not Tectone?
He says sad, but it's pretty deadpan. Doesn't seem to be feeling any emotion other than what he does when he's reacting to anything else.
There's a bunch of drama, like weird shit that happened, and like there's a lot of like things happening. Like
There's a bunch of drama and weird shit that happened. Very, very vague way to describe it. And then after that, he kind of, like, what he says at first makes it seem like he's talking about there's drama and weird stuff with Tectone, but then he's like, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, and he's just like, that sounds more general. Like before, it sounded like you were kind of saying there was weird stuff with Tectone, but then you wanted to back off of that a little bit.
it's complicated. Am I sad about Tectone? Yeah, of course. Of course.
I mean, he sounds and looks devastated, doesn't he? Utterly devastated.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, why would I not be? Of course it sucks. Yeah, absolutely it sucks. Yeah, I mean, what else? Hope he didn't do anything? Me too. I hope he, I hope if he didn't do any, like, this is my opinion, is that I think whenever you talk about shit like this with him, like, with like, what he got accused of, like, it's not really drama at that point, right? Like, we're talking about, like, crimes. And so, like, I just hope that whatever the truth is what happens, right? I hope people realize what the truth is, and I hope people learn what the truth is. One way or another.
If there was going to be people out there defending Tectone, I would have expected one of them to be Asmongold, but Asmongold is very much does not want. It seems like he does not want to defend Tectone as anything more than saying, let's wait to see all the evidence and get to the bottom of the facts before we do anything. But he's not willing to go much further than that. It doesn't seem like.
That's it. I'm sick of cancel culture bullshit. I feel like no one's safe. Well, like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, I'm not an expert in this. I don't know all the details.
He seems very hesitant to speak on this. This is at the very tail end of his stream too. This is a 4-hour stream, and we're at 3 hours and 52 minutes in right now.
He knows the details and she knows the details. I don't know the details. So, like, what am I gonna do? Sit around and talk about, like, oh no, he did it. Oh no, she's lying. I don't fucking know. It's not my problem. Like, straight up, it's not my fucking problem. He gonna figure it out, and that's it.
Like that sounds like look, I've wiped my hands of the situation. It's not my problem anymore. He didn't actually, say the anymore part, but that's kind of how it read to me.
I don't think being canceled is a thing unless you let it be a thing. I mean, he's still gonna stream. Like, I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's been canceled. And unless the X comes out with evidence or something that would make people more likely to believe it, I would imagine he'll be more or less fine. Maybe a percentage of people he'll lose, but his type of audience seems like the anti-cancel culture audience, so they probably hold pretty strong unless it was close to undeniable.
You gotta, like, y'all really gotta stop saying shit like this. Like, this is weird. Like, you say, like, women like it rough until months later down the line, it's time to tell the internet. Like, y'all gotta stop saying this stuff. Like, this is weird. Like, just try to talk about this like an adult. Like, rather than, like, yeah, like, just stop. Stop.
I wonder what his chat would have thought if he hadn't prefaced it at all. Because they're all doing 07s, which I've seen them being like, see ya, weirdo, for the most part. And a lot of people are just saying weirdo, weirdo, weirdo.
Because in all reality, yeah, just stop, bro. Like, what a weirdo. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really that complicated.
I mean, I had no idea Asmongold and his chatters were so woke.
Y'all too invested? Yeah, I know. Rebozo, he just got a timeout, right? I mean, like, I feel like he didn't need a ban. He just needed a timeout. Should be a permanent, in my opinion. In what world is it fair someone can make an accusation and the accused is immediately punished without investigation? I think that there's a lot of things that... So, this is the truth.
I mean, he hasn't really been punished yet. Like, some people have talked about it, I'm sure you could find some people that have said it, but I haven't seen any prominent people saying like Tectone did it. You know, Denims maybe is a little bit more on that train, but I mean, maybe she has said it. I hadn't seen her straight up say that he's guilty yet, but she was definitely casting doubt on him.
Is that with a lot of these situations, the public doesn't know everything that happens. And they think that, like, because if you only have, like, 5 pieces to a puzzle, you're going to think it's going to make one kind of a puzzle. But in some cases, if you have 20 pieces of the puzzle, and it could still be a 100-point puzzle, you think it's going to make a different part of the puzzle. So oftentimes what might seem like this is what it is, and like this is where things are pointing, that might not be true to other people that have information that's different than you. So
He is leaving a lot of room for Tectone to be guilty of what he's being accused of here. Like, I really would have thought Asmongold would have had a little bit more. I feel like just before this, when Asmongold had his controversy, Tectone was on his side more than pretty much anybody else with the whole Israel-Palestine stuff. When he said that they were an inferior culture or whatever it was that he said. I don't remember exactly.
yeah, I don't want to go and like.
But I'm pretty sure I remember hearing Tectone be a bit more on Asmongold's side than pretty much anybody else. And now this is how Asmongold is is talking about Tectone. He's tippy-toeing around Tectone.
Like make a lot of specifics and shit like that. But I think it's always important to keep in mind, you know, sometimes, like, I mean, big surprise. You said stream over. It's been 30 minutes. It's not even 30 minutes. Shut the fuck up. It's been like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes. What the hell up?
Outrageous chatter.
So clarifying is not 100%. Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, like, people like to draw conclusions without full evidence. And I think everybody is guilty of that, including myself sometimes. But I just really try to do my best.
Asmongold was on the fruit is a disgusting cheater train. That WestJet also did a video saying that Fruits just cheated on her husband, even though her document was all just exposing her ex-husband and never mentioned any of that. But people ran with it, even though it was not substantiated.
And, you know, that's about it.
And yeah, it's Asmongold and WestJet. I think some other people got duped by that as well.
Streaming soon? Yeah. I just figured I'd talk for a little bit before I finished it. Police shootings, prime example. There's a lot of them. It's like Doc. Yeah. I'm just holding off judgment. Yeah, do whatever you want to do. So yeah. The wind down's the saddest part of the stream. Is it the saddest? I feel like I'm chilling, man. I'm good. What happened to the Korean game you're gonna play? I'm gonna play more of it tomorrow. I will. Generally, I want to know your take.
Games here.
But why do you think people come out online rather than taking it to the police or keeping it between them and the police? Some people could know that, like, there's 2 reasons, right? There's basically usually 2 reasons. Well, 3. The third reason is that they are going to the police, but they just also did this online. Number 2 is that they're lying. Number 3 is that they might not have enough evidence to prove that they're telling the truth. So that's it. Like, those are the 3 outcomes that's why somebody would go and say something like that publicly. I can't think of another reason.
Like, if he had any reason to believe that Tectone was innocent there, I think he would, mention that a little bit more, but he seems very much willing to believe Tectone's ex was telling the truth. Just, again, no evidence, we don't know. I'm not saying that he's guilty or he did it or anything. But, I mean, who is out there that was friends or friendly with Tectone that's out vouching for him. I've not seen it. Not saying that hasn't happened either, but I've not seen it.
Shit makes me never want to date. I don't know.
I mean, that's a weird response. This makes me never want to date. I mean, it's not like this is some epidemic of thing happening. 5% of men are the victim of these false allegations on Twitter. Like, you think you're gonna be fine, especially if you're just some random regular person. So there's not really a market for destroying chatters' lives with allegations.
Some people want instant validation. Yeah, maybe. Speaking of podcasts, you ever thought about going on Joe Rogan? I don't think that's really my choice, you know? It's not really my decision. Should make you never want to date only
They asked that like he's been turning down Joe Rogan. He's like, Did you ever change your mind about going on Joe Rogan?"
OnlyFans girls. I've dated 3 OnlyFans girls, and I haven't had any problem like that happen.
But there you go. So it's at worst 1 in 4 chances of it happening to you.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know what to say. Yet? Well, yeah. I mean, like, how can I know what's going to happen in the future? Maybe on number 4 it'll happen. Who knows? Chat's weird sometimes. I think that a lot of people have... here's really the truth, right? A lot of people have really strong opinions about this stuff, and I think that a lot of people talk about issues like this from a position of personal unresolved trauma. And the people that have really strong opinions about it are oftentimes people that have had experience with it in their own life, and the experience with it in their own life went a certain way.
I think a lot of people just get caught up in the culture war aspect of it at this point. I don't know how on the point Asmongold is with his take here.
And it shades the way that they look at other people's situations because they put themselves in that position.
Because he's kind of saying that this would be a lot of people do get false accused, and that's why they feel strongly about this. But he was just saying that you probably don't have to worry about that.
I think that's what happens. You consider going back to church? It's not real. I'm sorry, guys, but, like, I don't believe it. I think it's just bullshit. Like, I mean, straight up is bullshit. I wish it wasn't, but, like, it is bullshit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how can I believe?
God is bullshit, chat, all right? From false allegations to religion is not true. He just takes any questions here at the end.
Believe a book that's full of bullshit? Because you want to. That's the reason why. There's a lot of things I want to believe, but they're not true.
Oh yeah, checkmate, theists. What are you gonna do about that? I mean, pretty much dismantled all theism right there. God is dead, thanks to Asmongold.
Every time you date a girl, you're rolling the dice. Yeah, but every time a girl dates a guy, she's rolling the dice. It's obviously a risk no matter what you do.
I mean, yeah, on some level, anytime you let somebody be intimately involved in your life, you're taking at some level of risk. But I mean, I don't think it's that dangerous as long as you have, moderate, average abilities, and not even you can have slightly below average abilities of judging people. And I don't think most relationships are going to be too dangerous unless you get to the point where you're moving in together with people. Then it gets a little bit risky.
Jesus loves you? I hope so. I do. And if I die and I go to heaven and Jesus is like, why didn't you believe in me? I'm like, bro, like I literally said, just come down and tell me. If you turn a pizza into a dog, then I'll believe that you exist. But just
When I was a kid, I would put a Lego like hanging off the edge of a table, so it would be very easy for it to fall. And I would say, "Dear God, if you're real, please knock the Lego off of the table tonight while I'm asleep." And he never did. He never did.
come down here and do that. You didn't do it. Like, what the fuck? Why would you not do that? You know what I mean?
Stop.
Like, yeah, Jesus believe you? Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair, bro. Like, yes. It's not fair at all. Would you eat the pizza? I'd eat the dog. I eat a dog. For sure I'd eat a dog. Why wouldn't I eat a dog? Don't eat
Rude.
dogs? I wouldn't eat your dog. It's not like I'm going to go eat your dog. I'm just saying, like, theoretically, like, if there was a dog, I eat a cat. I eat a dog. I eat a rabbit. Absolutely.
Would you eat an alarm clock rat?
A rat? Yeah, I'd eat a rat if it tasted good. Sure.
I'm
I
counting
eat
that.
anything if it would taste good. A possum? Yeah, anything. I'd eat mudang, especially mudang. Actually, I don't want to get canceled. No, never mind. I didn't say that. No, I would never eat mudang. That's fucked up. Like, that's horrible. Who would ever say that? Take that back. Yeah, that's
Seriously
wrong.
messed up.
That's too much.
Due to the chemicals, it's not safe to eat city rats. And you're that rat eating Intel.
Tweeting right now. Yeah, is that right? But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and chill. Sorry that today was kind of late, and it's just the way it is. But I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll be back on early, same as today. And hopefully we don't have our internet die, and we'll probably play more of the Korean waifu simulator game, and fuck around with some other stuff too. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you then. Peace. See ya.
So there it was, the very end. I don't want you to play another thing, just do that. That was how the end of his stream went. The very, very end of it, a couple days back. And yeah, I don't think that it looks good for this Tectone guy. Again, not saying that he's guilty. We know he did it. Anything like that, it doesn't matter. People, Tectone fans are still gonna be mad anyway. I said that multiple times in the last video, and they just said, "How could you? How could you say Tectone is guilty and should be sent to prison immediately?" But yeah, I just would like to see another 5 or 10% of his evidence against her claims, because the first 5% is it works against him, honestly. And then the fact that this is how Asmongold, at least in terms of internet friends, I would have thought that they would be decently close, not saying they were actually real life friends, but if there was going to be anybody to defend Tectone, I think it would be these people over here on the yellow couch. I'm not hearing anything from them. Asmongold said that that was not a sad end to the stream, but I don't know, it was pretty somber. Somber at the very least, to talk that way about your internet pal being alleged and accused. So let's see another. I would say at this point, I need to see at least 10% more of what you got, Tectone, because, yeah, what you've offered works against you. And yes, your ex did not provide any actual evidence. But now that you've had such a bad response, I actually do think there might be something to it.